Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm talking about the state transfer event that's coming up. It just started showing up yesterday, so I went and looked to see what is on my grouping for states, and there is a ton. Now all of these states were all in the same Gen Heroes, so that's why you don't see a cross-generation transfer. I'm going to tell you different ways that you can reduce your migration rating, and a couple of them are the nuclear option that I would not suggest. I'm just informing you that there are ways. But I guess it depends on how bad your situation is in the state you're in. But before you make a choice to go to a different state, my advice is to make a little account in that state you're looking into to see how it is. Because people that are trying to get you to come to their state will say anything because they need more players. And it might not be as nice as they're portraying it to be. You don't want to end up in the same situation you're in right now, but in a different state where you'll have to save up the same amount of tickets to transfer again in 90 days. But enough with the negativity. Let's move on to your migration score and how to figure that out. Now, if you want to find out your migration rating, go into tap your profile, then tap the little I next to your power, and it'll list your rating. And then Monkey King Rambo actually has a chart that you can match up, and it'll give you a very accurate idea of how many tickets you need. But here's ways to reduce your migration rating, and some are better than others. The nuclear option is to kill off your troops, and you'll have to kill off a lot of them, like zero yourself a lot, depending on how much lower you need to get your migration score down to. And then you have the energy gems, also a nuclear option, because these are expensive and they take a long time to get to level 7, but you can recycle them and they will reduce your migration rating. I don't suggest doing most of the stuff I'm going to tell you about. You probably spent more money and time on these things like the energy drums and training troops and your Tempest arms pieces. It probably make more sense just to buy tickets. I mean, just think about how much money you spent on all this stuff compared to buying, say, 1, 2, 3 tickets. It seems like, in my mind, that it would be a whole lot cheaper to just buy the tickets and a whole lot less of a hassle. I mean, wouldn't you agree? But you can, like I said, you can recycle the energy gems too that you have. And you'll get diamonds back for them, but it's only half the amount you spent. It's not worth it. Especially if you have ones with really good stats on them. Probably never get that great of stats again. And then the next way to reduce your migration score is through Tempest Arms. I've heard that you can reduce it significantly, but you'd have to get rid of the best ones. And those with red stats are far few between. My advice, just buy the tickets you need. Unless you're over that maximum, the 900 million. But even then, I've heard of people, no, I've seen people that have transferred to other states. They literally zeroed themselves in order to do it. So a non-nuclear, non-permanent way to reduce your migration score is to reduce your heroes down to level 1 and then reset them in the training area. And if by doing this, it doesn't reduce your migration score enough, you can always put them back in the training area and they'll go right back to the way they were before. This is one of the suggestions that I would do first before going to the nuclear option of killing off troops and recycling the energy gems or the Tempest Arms pieces. Because like I said before, it's temporary. If it doesn't work, it's no big deal. Now, after you've done your research about which state you want to go to, that you think you'll have a much better game experience, you can go to the world map, you'll see state transfer. Then it'll bring up a list of states. There's leading states, there's the ones in the middle, and then there's trailing states. If your state is in the middle, you'll see your migration rating and it'll say the amount of transfer passes required. I'll need 40. They've seemed to add something new that says as a state ages, the number of transfer passes required for that same number of migration rating is moderately reduced. So that's a new thing. Now in a trailing state, the amount of passes required is a lot less than compared to the ones in the middle. If you remember, I needed 40 to transfer to 755, but if I was to transfer to this state, I'd only need 12. Now these are leading states, and this is not where any state wants to be. because they are permanently limited to 100 million migration rating for anyone coming into their state, which limits them to essentially farms being able to transfer there. The governor can send special invites to other players, but unless they drop from leading state status, those invitations are invalid. This is why you see a lot of leading states desperately trying to lower their state BP to get out of this leading state status. That way, the players that they invited can actually transfer to their state. So, have you done this transfer event before? I've only done it once, so this will be a second time. Do you know of any other ways to reduce your migration score? Please feel free to put it in the comments. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.